Welcome to Zoom. Enter your meeting ID followed by pound. Enter your participant ID followed by pound. Otherwise, just press pound. After the tone, please record your name. When you are in the meeting now. There are 8 participants in the meeting.
And Commissioner Transu, we have a full attendance. Commissioner Guster.
Hey, thank you very much, Commissioner Transu, for the reading of the roll. We will now have the approval of the agenda. Can you just go down just a little bit, Director Lacy, please? Okay. I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I so move.
Can I get a second?
Commissioner Upchurch Taylor, second.
Okay, it's been properly moved by Commissioner Boyd, second by Commissioner Upchurch Taylor. Are there any questions to the motion? There being no questions to the motion, all those in favor would say aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed will say no. Okay, the motion is carried. Director Lacy, if you would put the September 13th minutes up, please. Okay, we can move on to a little bit more strength. Scroll down a little bit, please.
I move the approval of the minutes.
Hey, can I get a second?
I'll second the motion.
It's been properly moved by Commissioner Boyd, second by Commissioner Transu. Are there any questions to the motion? Any questions to the motion? All those in favor would say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed would say no. Ayes have it. The minutes of September 23rd is approved. We will now have our director's report. Director Lacy, you have the floor.
Okay. So we had no right to sue letters issued in the month of September and no mediations case closures in the month of September. I submitted the proposal for the EEOC joint engagement activity on artificial intelligence, and they accepted it. So we have $1,250 to use for a joint engagement outreach activity on that topic. I submitted the business plan goals for the budget review process. I did a staff training on cognitive interviewing and investigative processes for dealing with people who've experienced trauma. I've worked on our proposal to do a partnership opportunity for an externship program. So what we are exploring is using some of our partnership funding from HUD to hire interns to work for us during the summer months and have the same people do an externship during their school year. So they would be assisting with things in the office to get credit through their school. So we are working through that process with the University of Illinois Law School in Chicago. I also met with Joseph Singh, who's with the University of Illinois in Chicago Law School with the Fair Housing. He does a lot of work with the Fair Housing Clinic. And he's done some training for the Davenport Civil Rights Commission in the past. And I asked him if he would be able to do a training for the commissioners again, primarily focusing on kind of nuts and bolts things relating to being a commissioner and decision-making involved with cases, what things the commission should look for when they're deciding damages, kind of how to craft a decision, best practices in that area. And we talked a little bit more about it. I sent over some materials for him, like our ordinance and information about kind of cases that we've had go to public hearing recently. And he has given us a date of December 10th, 2022, that he would be available. And he's thinking that it would be a full day training. So we wanted to give a lot of time in advance so that folks could have some time to kind of set aside to attend this training. We're doing it on a Saturday. That way the commissioners who work, they can have that time to kind of give a full day to something on the weekend.
Director Lacey, could you restate that, please?
The date or the purpose of it?
The purpose of the training.
So we want to do a training that kind of focuses on the role of the commissioner in the adjudication process. So when I attended the IORA training, I went to one of the sessions that dealt with the commission making decisions. So when they issue findings and best practices, and Professor Sang led that session. And so I reached out to him after the conference and asked him if he would do a training like that for our commission. And he's done some commissioner training for Davenport in the past. So he was kind of familiar with our agency and our ordinance, and he's willing to come here and conduct an in-person training on December 10th, 2022. So that's a Saturday. And he's thinking that it would be a full day training, so probably 8 hours, where we can kind of go over nuts and bolts of what goes into commissioner decision-making, the authority of the commission, information regarding what things would factor into decision-making, just kind of making sure that the commission has the legal aspect of the commissioner decision-making kind of nailed down, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Director, I'll be out of the country on that date. Will it be? Will I be able to participate, even though I'm not there in person?
Yes, we can set it up for Zoom, so that you could attend remotely. and we wanted to give enough time ahead of the scheduled meeting date so that everybody would have time to kind of set that time aside on their schedule. Is there anybody that knows that date won't work for them?
I can tell you that I know I'm going to check something, but I believe that let me just check something. I believe I'm going to be I'll be flying back that day, so I don't want to stop everybody else from getting that training and stuff. So we might want to look at maybe an alternate date that everybody can be there on site and stuff.
Okay.
And maybe so. But if I'm not there, that's not going to make a big difference. So go ahead.
Is there anybody else that date won't work for?
I'll be gone
I'm not sure.
most of that
Okay,
month. I'm sorry. I'll be in Zambia guest teaching. So from the November 29th to December 19th. It's a big block there.
Commissioner Upchurch Taylor, did you say?
That's a Saturday, so at this point, when I look at my phone, it looks good.
Okay.
Do you know about what time this would take place?
We are thinking that he's going to come down the night before, so we were thinking starting probably 9 or 10 a.m.
And do you know about how long it would?
He was thinking 8 hours, so either 9 to 5 or 10 to 6.
Yeah. Ooh, okay.
It's okay with me, but if it's not going to work for most of the commission, then I'm okay with, another date if we can.
Okay.
How about the other commissioners? That's something that you guys could commit to, Commissioner Reyes?
I don't know my schedule, like if I'm having a trial the following Monday. I don't know my calendar until we get closer to that date.
Okay.
I'm sure I could probably do part of it.
Okay. Okay, great. Commissioner Pecora?
You're
You're
muted.
muted. You're muted, Commissioner Pecora. Commissioner Pecora, you're muted.
There you go. I would suggest that we do, with COVID growing like it is, that we try to do this via Zoom, and that we try and do it in 2 separate sessions, so that maybe he won't have to come all that way. He could do it wherever he has his office, and so that's my suggestion.
Commissioner Lopez?
I mean, I can do it either way. I can make the time on a Saturday, but whatever is easiest for everyone else.
Okay. All right. One person's probably not going to make this time frame. That's if Commissioner Board. So is that can we move the training up to middle part of November or something? Is that possible?
I can ask him. He selected that date because I think it was after classes in, because he's also teaching.
Oh, okay.
But I'll go back to him and see if he has some additional dates, and then I can send that out to everyone to see if we can get a confirmed date that everyone is available. Commissioner Pecora, he wants to do it in person to make sure that he can have everybody there and kind of paying attention. He was very concerned about people zoning out or not fully being engaged with a virtual training. So he requested that it be in person so that he can make sure that he's kind of there face-to-face looking at folks. Obviously, I would encourage everyone to be masked, and we can probably schedule it in council chambers. That way people can spread out a bit.
Okay, let's see what kind of alternate dates that he might have, and then let's go back from there. And and preferably he can get all of us a date that all of us can make it. I want to get the biggest bang for our buck and stuff, and it'll be great just to have all the commissioners there. And then if he could coming on site, we may as well just go ahead and take it all day long and stuff. Versus the 2 periods, no sense in paying him 2 times to come down and do something he could have done in one setting. So.
Yeah.
Let's look at that and see what we can do and come back with some options, Director Lacy, please.
Okay. Yep. And I'll send that. I'll request that from him today after the meeting, and then I'll send that out to everyone, and hopefully we can get some dates hammered out by the end of this week.
Okay.
We're working on the HUD partnership funding proposal, so thinking through things that we can do with the $15,000 that we got from HUD for this year. So obviously one of the things is the externship program through the summer. While people are here, we would pay them, but figuring out kind of the amounts that they would be paid and how we would divvy that up, and then what we would do with the remainder. I finalized and submitted the budget increase proposal, so we've heard back that they will approve the travel increase request, and then the staffing increase, they're going to submit that to council for their review and vote.
Okay.
And then we're having the budget meetings with staff on October 31st. And so we had a couple of cases that came up where there are kind of stereotypes about the Sapphire, so kind of this, like the angry Black woman stereotype. And it was interesting that there's essentially no case law on it. I think I found like 4 or 5 cases on it in all of Westlaw, which is odd because we see that there is a disparity in the pay for Black women and leadership opportunities, and then just kind of cultural stereotypes about Black women kind of having a bad attitude or being aggressive. And so thinking about doing something more, like doing some trainings on that topic, or doing something more to kind of get a conversation started about why that's not being translated into kind of litigation and case law. Where is it dropping off? So working on pre-hearing and post-hearing things. We have some litigation going, working on that. Still monitoring COVID. Obviously, we have as we move into the fall, we're having another uptick in new variants, so fun time. We finalized the conference planning stuff, getting all of that finalized and sent out for reimbursements and making sure all of that is resolved. So that's finally done. And then working on case processing things. We obviously had the events last month with library, and then we did some outreach activities. And then I also wanted to get some feedback from the commission on if there were specific topics that the commissioners wanted to see training on, so that I could relay that over to Joe Sang, or if there are trainings that I can send out, like when we get information about trainings, if I can kind of share the information that I'm receiving on those. So are there any specific topics that commissioners would think that they need additional information on?
I'd be interested in, you already brought this up, the authority of the commission.
Okay.
Just to kind of wrap my head around that and see what we're actually able to do and how far we can, go.
As far as like enforcement or remedies?
Yeah, I mean, things that just get to the final point. Maybe a pastor as well.
I'm sorry, it broke out when you said the last thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, just to get to like a final point of, being a commissioner in the Civil Rights, on the Civil Rights Commission. I'd just like to know a little bit more on that.
Director Lacey, do you have a list of topics that are available?
Well, we get all different things, so it really could be kind of anything that's within the ordinance. If there are questions specifically about like education, employment, credit, public accommodation, housing, if there are questions about even kind of like how our how the contracts work, how funding is decided, if there are questions about like kind of Commissioner Lopez's question about kind of the role of the commission, things relating to the different bases. So like if there are questions about what things constitute discrimination, like if you don't fully understand what is discrimination under the ADA, what authority does the commission have to enforce the ADA and what areas, that kind of thing. It's a broad topic, so I was just wondering if sometimes commissioners kind of look over the ordinance and say, I don't really get what this means specifically, and we can kind of look for trainings when those come across our desk. Like if there are questions about what constitutes a disability, when we get those trainings that come across that talk about disability discrimination, we can forward those on.
Definitely the role of the commissioner as well as discrimination. I'm interested in those two.
Okay.
Any other stuff?
I'd be interested in seeing the list that Commissioner of Church Taylor asked for. Sometimes you don't know what you don't know, so it will be sometimes it's right when we start hearing a certain type of case that I do all that I can to get up to par with the information and with the type of circumstance. But instead of just doing that, it would be good to just look over and lay out and plan what things have historically been showstoppers or deterrents to working on the case.
Let me make a suggestion. I think that one of the things that could probably be done is that we could take, for instance, the American Disabilities Act. You can talk about discriminatory things in nature as it pertains to that. We could take housing, discriminatory things that pertains to housing or how it might affect us as commissioners. Somebody stated the roles of a commissioner. Certainly that would be something that would be, I think, beneficial. So there are different, I guess, elements or different areas that we should probably get training on, and we could probably fix it up where we could do it quarterly and make that happen. So I'm gonna ask Director Lacey to come up with a quarterly training in those areas where we would possibly get a chance to make some decision as it affects housing, ADA, discriminatory actions as it pertains to familiarity with housing discrimination and other things like that there, as we will be willing to, that would help us perform our job in a much better manner than what we're doing now.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree, and I also think too that it might not hurt to touch on some things that people don't always think about. You know, the systemic discrimination that's been going on for decades. A lot of people do not recognize it. You know, I think that, you know, even as commissioners, some people might not recognize that kind of discrimination, you know. So, I don't know, just some kind of training that can maybe make people realize, you know, that it's kind of built into our whole system, you know, kind of thing.
Oh. I will do that. So I'll come up with some topics, and then I guess we'll discuss offline, and then come back and figure out the dates to do those coming up, and we'll plan those out quarterly. So maybe we can plan it out, have them all scheduled out. That way we don't have to spring dates on people.
Okay.
And I think let's see. That's all I have. There is an event tonight at the Putnam Museum called Pride in Memory, where they're kind of talking about the history of LGBTQ community in the Quad Cities. Mm-hmm. I encourage everybody to attend.
And that's 7 to 9, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 7 to 9. Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay. Any questions?
Oh.
Go ahead.
I did want to thank Commissioner Transu for assisting with the Pride booth last month.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay. Good deal. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate you, Commissioner Transu, for doing that. Let's go back to the agenda, please. Okay. See, we are down now to new business, and can you explain our first case, Director Lacey?
Yes, this is the case that the court directed the commission to reopen. So we just would need a vote from the commission to take it to public hearing, and then we would refer it over to the Department of Inspections and Appeals so that they can begin the next process, the next stage in the process.
Okay. And you said this is the one that the court directed us to do this?
Yeah, they directed the commission to reopen it, so it was on think it was on the special meeting agenda for August.
Okay.
There was a vote already taken to reopen it, so now we just need a vote to take it to public hearing.
I would now entertain a motion to take, case number ED -0109-002-14 to public hearing. What is your pleasure?
I so move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
It's been properly moved by Commissioner Board, second by Commissioner Transu, that we take case number ED-0109-0002-14 to public hearing. Are there any questions to this motion? Question to the motion? There being no question to the motion, all those in favor would say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed would say no. Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Is approved. Okay. I think we all. Is there anything else that you want to talk to us about commissioner training?
No, that was just getting the date finalized, but I'll get back with him today, and then hopefully if I get a response today, I'll send that out to everyone.
Okay. Let's go to the next case, please.
This is the case that has gone through the Iowa Supreme Court, and it was remanded back to the commission to issue additional findings on and redo the damages award. The commission issued a new damages award and a brief explanation for those, and the respondent appealed that determination by the commission, and the district court remanded it back to the commission again to issue additional findings and kind of further explain those findings. I think that was sent out not after the last month's meeting, the decision. So we would need to probably schedule a special meeting to go over that, where the commission would deliberate on that case and issue a new determination. One question with that case and probably the case after it would be, does the commission think that we should hire an attorney to go into closed session with the commissioners and kind of deliver and assist them in kind of more deliberately drafting a determination to address the court's ruling?
So let me make sure that I understand, and I agree with that. The cost, do we have the funds to go ahead and do this Director Lacey?
I think we can use some of the HUD partnership funds, and then we also have special enforcement funds from HUD that we can use for this. And then we just need to negotiate a price with an attorney to make sure that it fits within the budget that we have.
Mm-hmm. Would that be a conflict of interest to have Commissioner Reyes to weigh in on that?
I don't know. I do criminal defense, and I don't know anyone who does civil rights. So I think I'm kind of out of the loop as far as that goes.
Okay. All right. Great. Okay. All right. So back to square one.
What we could do is I could create a list of attorneys that we know of who are kind of not in the area, who don't really work in our office, who, don't represent people in our office. And then maybe if the commission decides to have maybe the chair and vice chair kind of conduct interviews or something and look over it, just kind of set out criteria for what you'd like to see from the attorney and the experience and so forth, and then kind of look through those and determine someone that you can use.
I think that there is a great need to do that. I think that we should definitely get an attorney and have in the room to draft our argument, to make sure that our verbiage meets our intent, and that we are talking the lingo that needs to go back and be in each one of our actions that we adjudicate for in these particular cases. So I recommend that we do that. So
do we want to have add that to an agenda going forward to have a vote on that?
yes, let's do that.
Commissioner Gessler, can I raise a thought on this issue?
Absolutely, sir. Go ahead.
Oh, I agree with you entirely. I believe that having counsel with us in some of these sessions is very helpful. Otherwise, we're sort of wandering around. So I agree with that. But my other, what I hear, of course, is that there's a cost that goes with it. And since we're in a budget phase, I would hope that rather than sort of grabbing money from here and there, that we establish having a attorney to help us at times is also budgeted, so that we don't ever find ourselves wanting help and we don't have the money for it. So I'm encouraging us to include funds for this purpose in our budget based upon what we reasonably feel will meet the need. Thanks.
Point very well made, Commissioner Commissioner Pecora, and I can tell you that that is our plan all along, to make sure that we do have funding to do that. That was it's in our current budget request, and that's why we're bringing it back to the full commission to make sure that we have those funds and stuff available to do that. So absolutely. So what we will do then, we need to set up a special meeting date on this, and then come back and put it on the agenda to vote for it at the next meeting, and make sure that we can make this happen.
I just want to clarify what we are doing. Do we want to do a special meeting to discuss kind of how the hiring an attorney process is going to be outlined? Or do we want to schedule a special meeting to vote on hiring an attorney?
Say that again, Director Lacy.
Do we want to schedule a special meeting to outline the process for hiring an attorney? So kind of what we would like to see the criteria be for an attorney that the commission hires, and what process you're going to go through for vetting? Or do we want to schedule a special meeting to vote on hiring an attorney?
Can't we do both at the same meeting?
You would need to know who the attorney is going to be that you hire
I think
before you
what
can
we
vote
would
on
do,
it.
I think what would be is that we would develop the criteria, and then there could be a list of names that could be developed, could be presented, and we can make a selection from that list of names. That's probably the best way to go. Anybody have a problem with that on the commission? Develop the criteria in terms of what we want, then develop the list.
Okay.
Is that okay, commissioners?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what we will do then, Director Lacy.
Okay. Do we want to table the next two issues until we get the attorney hired? So the housing case is the Seeberger remand, and then the employment one is the case where the commission already issued a finding on liability, and then they are now going to deliberate on the remedies that are going to be given to the complainant.
Yeah, but let's table those and until we can get the attorney online here. We need to try to do that real quick as possible.
Are we talking about C and D, those two cases?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And on case number item number D up on the new business, case number E-0139-0069-16, that's the Rangel case. Mr. Pecora, I'm gonna have to ask you to step away from that case because you made contact with the respondent's attorney, and that is illegal, and so that kind of kicks you out of the game in terms of working with us on that case any further. So because you can't do that, and then we remain, because one thing about, we don't know what you discussed with the respondent's attorney. You have not submitted anything to us with respect to what you have, what was the nature of your call, and that call is illegal. You can't do that. So I'm going to ask you to recuse yourself. If you don't, then we just have to do something else differently as the will and pledge of the commission itself. So if you want to submit a written statement as to what your conversation was with the attorney.
There was no conversation.
You contacted them, and you're not supposed to do that. And the attorney did not notify the commission that you had contacted her. And we've had a conversation when I became the chair that I was very clear about who spoke for the commission and all of that good stuff, and you made a statement to me that you speak freely for yourself, and I didn't have a problem with that. But when it conflicts with the commission in terms of how it operates, then we just can't close our eyes and keep rolling. That kind of behavior can't be tolerated. So, and I just want you to be aware of that. Consequences has action. And stuff, and I know you've been around. You've been a commissioner longer than anybody on this here commission, and I know you know better than that and stuff. And so, anytime you have clarification, there are 6 other commissioners besides yourself, and we got a director, and we got a couple of employees that's in the office there that you can get clarification from. So I just want to be clear about that. Okay. Is there, Director Lacy, are you clear about what we want to do, our intent on tabling these items C and D, and then about the criteria for the attorney and then making the selection process.
Yes. Do we want to schedule those meetings now, or that meeting now, where we
Yeah.
go over that? And do you want me to develop kind of basic criteria, and then you all look over it, see if you want to add or delete anything from that?
I will ask the commission to voice their comments, opinion. I think that would be in our best interest. Commissioners, what is your will and pledge in that area? Commissioner Lopez.
Oh, your volume's not on. We can, oh, there you go.
I would say we do that and just get going as soon as we can.
Okay.
You know, the sooner we get someone, the sooner we can, you know, start doing more things, closing more cases.
Okay. Commissioner Upchurch Taylor.
I'm in agreement with that.
Commissioner Boyd.
I'm in agreement also.
Commissioner Transu.
Yes, I agree.
Commissioner Reyes.
I'm in agreement.
Commissioner Pecora.
Fine with me.
Okay. So that's what we will do. Thank you, guys. Director Lacy, that is a direction that we will pursue.
Okay. Do we want to figure out a date for the special meeting?
Yes. Let's see here. Calendar here. Okay. Guess we better get to the right month. Okay. How about the how about the 25th? Is anybody good? The 25th of October. Same time, 12 o'clock. Or earlier.
I'll be unavailable. I'm in a training all day that day, but I can create the list of criteria and have another staff member be here to assist with it.
Okay. Is that good for everybody else?
I will be out of town, but obviously if it's a Zoom meeting, I should be able to attend it.
Okay. How about the next, the 18th not a good day for me. Let's keep on working with the 25th. The 25th good for everybody else?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
okay with me, yeah.
At noon?
I didn't hear you, Commissioner Lopez.
Was that going to be at noon? 12?
Yes,
Okay.
Commissioner Upchurch Taylor?
Yes, that works for me.
Commissioner Pecora?
Fine with me.
Commissioner Reyes, did I hear you say yes?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and make it for the 25th at 12.
Okay.
Okay. All right. We're down to Is there any more comments about the, any other information, any other, discussion about, these two cases, C and D? Everybody clear? Okay, we'll continue to move on. Old business. Last meeting, we had the Commissioner's Code of Conduct and Ethics, that we asked everybody to read, and, I want to know you guys' comments today, what you think about those, Code of Conduct. That's something, that, I believe that we've got to strictly abide by. I think there is a good, measurement to conduct ourselves in terms of being commissioners and will keep us out of trouble, basically. So what are your thoughts and comments?
We were gonna have that sent out to us, right, so we could read it and sign it? Was that what was gonna happen with that?
Yeah, it was sent out. Did you not get a copy of it?
Hey, I don't know if I did, you know, that doesn't sound familiar. I was,
Did anybody else not get a copy of it?
I need a copy.
I can't remember reading it. I will go back and look at my Google email to see if I got it.
Okay.
and I just didn't see a form, you know, where we sign or anything.
Yeah.
It's on the last page of the document.
Did you, Director
You all
Lacey,
need me to pull it out and have it as a separate sheet?
Okay, I found it.
Oh. What was the date it was sent on?
I think I sent it out the date of the last meeting, so it would have come from me on September 13th, maybe the 14th, but I think the 13th.
Oh, okay.
let's go ahead. Did anybody else not get a chance to read it?
Didn't.
I read it.
I read it when I first joined. I should probably read it again, obviously, to get a little refreshed.
Okay, Director Lacey, here's what I need you to do. I think there was some formatting issues with the copy that we had, and if it wasn't reformatted, please reformat it and resend it to everyone, and then we'll come back and we'll table it and come back and vote on it for the next at the next regular commissioner meeting, because this was very important and stuff. And
You want me to pull that out and have it as a separate sheet,
yes,
the signature page? Okay.
So if we find it, we'll just go ahead and send it back? Or
that would be great. If you agree with it and everything, go ahead and sign it and send it back into to Director Lacey, to her office, so that it can be in on file.
yeah, maybe I didn't scroll all the way to the bottom of it. I don't know. I didn't see a place to sign, but it could be there. It's probably further down.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's
Sign it and mail it in. Is that what we do?
you can mail it in, or you can take it in, or
Okay.
now, whichever one you choose, whichever one is best for you.
You can email it back to him.
That's what I have trouble doing.
Okay. Okay, folks, we're gonna move on. We're down to Any other old business? Well, that was it. The Commissioner's Code of Conduct and Ethics. So we will come back and we will revisit that at our next meeting. So we need to make sure we get that back on the agenda for our next regular meeting. Okay, if there are no other questions about the Commissioner Code of Conduct and Ethics, we'll move to public comment and presentation. Is there anybody in the public that's on the line that would like to have some comments? Anybody on the call that would like to have some comments? If so, you're free to unmute yourself and comment at this time. Okay, I see one person along with the city. Okay, if there are no other, there seems to be no comments from the general public. We will go ahead and prepare to adjourn. When is our next meeting, Commissioner Transu?
It is November 8th at noon.
November the 8th at noon. We have the
Election.
We have the, wow, that is, I know I want to follow. Excuse me?
I said Commissioner Upchurch Taylor will not be available that day. I'll be working the polls.
I will also.
Okay, see here. Do we want to move our regular meeting just for this particular month to the 9th? Since that is election day?
The trouble with moving it to the 9th for me is I work at 1.
Oh.
But, I mean, I could do Monday, the 7th. I've got plenty of time that day.
Okay. Even if just, okay, no, that probably make, you still will probably run a little bit tight there and stuff. If we do it on Monday, we'd have to do it probably about 10 o'clock because I got meetings already set up for 12:30. Can we move to 10 o'clock?
That's fine with me.
Me too.
How about the other commissioners?
Works for me, Upchurch Taylor.
Okay, Commissioner Pecora?
Okay with me.
Commissioner
I can do it
Lopez?
too. Yep, I can do it.
That's
Commissioner?
Wednesday, November 9th.
No, it's going to be November 7th.
Oh,
Wednesday,
oh,
Monday.
yeah, it's fine with me.
Okay, great. Okay, so November the 7th at 10 o'clock is our next meeting time. Also, a special meeting, October the 25th at 12 noon.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, to each of the commissioners, thank you for your participation and what you do to make this commission operate and function. I know that we've got some things that we got to get done, and we definitely got to get some funding to be able to continue to carry out our mission, and we're going to work hard to try to get that done. So really appreciate all the things that you do and the time that you take away from your work and other things to serve on this commission. So thank you. Have a great day. Look forward to seeing you again real soon.
Oh, can we have a motion to adjourn? So I can put that down.
Absolutely. At this time, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Thank you, Commissioner Francis.
I so move.
Been moved by Commissioner Boyle. We'll get a second.
I'll second it.
It's seconded by Commissioner Transu.
Okay.
Any questions to the motion? Normally there's not. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed say no. Motion carried. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. We'll talk with you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.